Before college, I believed there were only two reasons a classmate could have high grades. They were either naturally smart or spent a lot of time studying. It wasn't until I delved into neuroscience and learned about methods to enhance IQ that I realized learning could be strategic. I started training myself daily, forming habits to apply in my learning, work, and teaching, which proved to be extremely effective. I'm sharing this with you here. 1. Environmental influences can affect your physiological state. Many people think any place is suitable for study, dorms, bedrooms, cafes, etc., without realizing these are spaces we associate with leisure and entertainment. To the brain, it's no different. It creates a habitual way of thinking. Even if you're studying there, the brain doesn't fully block out the other functions of these settings. Chatting with roommates, scrolling through your phone, eating. These thoughts can intrude at any time, tempting you to take a break. In such moments, you're not only striving to stay focused, but also expending energy to resist distractions, naturally resulting in lower efficiency. This isn't a matter of self-control, but strategy. The correct approach is to eliminate all distractions by creating a study-specific environment. Upon entering, your brain switches into study mode immediately, which explains why many opt to study in cafes, recognizing the importance of environment. Of course, if you don't want to go to the library or don't have a study room at home, here's a practical tip. Clear your desk of anything unrelated to studying. Avoid eating, sleeping, or playing games at your desk. Then, place a lamp on it, turning it on only when you're studying and off when taking breaks. This trains your brain to associate the light with study time, forming a conditioned reflex. Turning on the lamp signals it's time to study, helping you quickly enter a focused state. Simple, right? This method has been experimentally proven. Students who utilized a study-specific lamp saw their grades improve in the second semester. 2. Turning short-term memory into long-term memory. Have you ever felt like you know everything when reviewing with your textbooks and notes? But when it comes to the test, it seems like you know nothing? That's because having the book open makes all the content appear like answers, giving you the illusion that you've mastered it all. In reality, reviewing is a process of converting short-term memory into long-term memory. This requires extracting information stored in short-term memory, reactivating the same neurons, and strengthening their connections. Simply looking at textbooks and notes is just re-identification of information. A more effective method is to retrieve information through recall. Here's a key technique. Take a blank piece of paper and write down what you've learned. The act of furrowing your brow and thinking triggers related information, and when you recall it, the information is extracted and neurons are strengthened. If you find simply writing it down too unstructured, here are two highly effective techniques. First, use question cards. While studying, write down key points in the form of questions on cards, questions only, no answers. Then, during review, answer each question on the cards. This not only forces purposeful retrieval of studied knowledge, refreshing and reinforcing memory, but also helps identify areas that haven't been mastered. The second method is testing. Honestly, no one likes exams, but they're undeniably effective. Answering each question is an active retrieval process. You can take relevant exams without worrying about the score, exposing all questions. Compared to question cards, exams offer a richer array of perspectives and a more systematic framework. 3. Adequate rest. There's a real-life example of a freshman named Janet at the University of Western Sweden. She had an average grade of D in her first semester, and the school warned her of expulsion if her grades didn't improve. So, Janet decided to study for 6 hours every night. Sounds motivational, right? However, by the second semester, she was failing every subject. Studying for long periods doesn't necessarily bring benefits. Learning efficiency isn't constant. It starts high, but after about 30 minutes, most people's mental energy and concentration begin to decline, along with their learning efficiency. Many then adopt a wrong strategy, forcing themselves to continue studying for another 4 to 6 hours. Forcing yourself is painful for the brain, which instinctively resists. Then you have to maintain learning efficiency while convincing your brain to endure the pain. Though your eyes may still be on the study material, you've already run low on cognitive resources to process information. In fact, you should stop and take a break from the desk as soon as you notice a drop in learning efficiency. Key point: leave the desk, as it's a study-specific area, and remember to leave if you're not studying. A break of about 5 to 10 minutes is enough. However, it's not recommended to use your phone, as scrolling also passively consumes cognitive resources by constantly taking in new information. Instead, you can listen to music, take a walk, have a coffee, or just rest your eyes for a while. The strategic rest method is somewhat like the Pomodoro technique, but the difference is that its timing is based on your own condition rather than a fixed cycle of 25 minutes of work followed by a 5-minute break. Some people with strong concentration abilities can study for 40 minutes without feeling tired, or even enter a flow state, avoiding the disruption of a timer while still in a good state. 4. Organizing information for memory. In fact, memorizing any information involves the processes of encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding is about processing new information so it connects with what's already in our brains, forming concepts we can understand. For instance, a phone number is just a series of digits without meaning or pattern, making it difficult for the brain to encode, store, and retrieve effectively. Much of the knowledge we learn is like phone numbers, lacking inherent meaning or pattern, making it hard for us to rationalize and form into easily understandable concepts, leaving us to resort to rote memorization, which is inefficient and ineffective. However, if we can draw connections between new and old information, the efficiency and effectiveness of our memory can be vastly different. The first method is to concretize and condense abstract nouns. For example, to remember the Great Lakes of North America, Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, Superior, we can take the first letter of each and form homes, which can be easily recalled when needed. The second method is to add personal views and emotions to what you need to remember, linking the memory with your emotions. The third method is to explain it to someone else, similar to the Feynman technique, because you have to use your own words to explain, which not only deepens understanding but also aligns with your memory habits, thus being more efficient. 5. Adequate sleep. In college, I found my most diligent times were the nights before exams, sometimes even pulling all-nighters right before heading to the exam hall, only to find my brain power lacking and barely remembering anything. I thought I wasn't staying up late enough, but in reality, I wasn't sleeping long enough. In 1924, 2 German researchers had college students memorize some material and then, over the next 8 hours, kept some awake while others slept. They found that those who slept remembered more. Subsequent experiments have confirmed this finding. Compared to being awake, sleep can improve memory by 20% to 40%. This is because the information we receive during the day is temporarily stored in the hippocampus, a short-term memory storage. At night, during sleep, the brain sorts and organizes this information, transferring important data to the neocortex, strengthening neural connections, and forming long-term memories. Thus, sleep is a crucial link in the learning chain. Many psychologists recommend a method known as the sleep sandwich. Study, sleep, study again. This process is akin to receiving, storing, and then receiving again. Without sleep or with inadequate sleep, the hippocampus has limited capacity. Receiving more information is just psychological comfort. Furthermore, if you have an exam in the afternoon, a brief review in the morning, followed by a short nap, can also be effective. Exam neuroscience even suggests that it's okay if you can't fall asleep. The key isn't sleeping per se, but stopping the influx of information to the brain, allowing it time to organize information and consolidate memory.